Hi guys and welcome to China Perspective. My name is 𝗬𝗵𝗵𝗵 and you may know me as a German recruiter in Asia. I have been working and living in China for more than a decade and a half, and for the past 2 or 3 years we've also entered the Thai market. Here we work with international firms to place their top management in Thailand. So if you're a candidate looking to work in Thailand, perhaps even relocating from China to Thailand for a new professional opportunity, or if you are a firm looking to hire employees here in Thailand, this is for you. The salary and what the employer costs are that the firm has to actually pay in the end, and what the net salary is for somebody after tax and deductions to take home is what we explore today. So let's break it down clearly and step by step so you understand how gross salary turns into net salary and into total employer cost here in Thailand. First of all, what's the difference between the 3 ways we often see salary communicated? So what's gross salary, what's net salary, and what's employer cost? Well, normally most companies communicate in gross salary, but there are some exceptions. It's always good to double check in what unit you are communicating to somebody, as the difference can be quite significant. So gross salary, that's your official monthly pay agreed with your employer before any deductions or taxes. This is what will be written in the labor contract or in your offer letter. Net salary is what you get in your bank account after all the deductions and taxes. So this is what you take home and what you can spend. This is what you as a candidate or as an employee care most about. This will always be less than the gross salary. And then we have the total employer cost. What your company pays in total is your salary plus their contributions. This is always more than the gross salary, and this is what the employer or the company cares more about. To do this calculation in Thailand, there are 3 main deductions, and you need to know which they are. So first of all, we have the Social Security Fund, SSF, 5% from you, the employee, and 5% from your employer, up to a monthly cap of 750 baht. Next is personal income tax, calculated progressively based on your net taxable income. And then we have standard deductions and allowances. Okay, so to make it easy, let's do 2 examples, one with a comparatively lower salary and one with a comparatively higher salary, to illustrate the difference according to the law, and we do it step by step. So first, let's start with the lower kind of salary. I will give a second example right after this for the higher one, so then you can choose which one will apply to you. So let's say your monthly salary is about 60,000 baht. That would be, as of today, roughly 1,600 euros or $1,800 per month. And yes, I know, many individuals here in Thailand do not make 60,000, so to label it a low salary is also not quite correct. However, I assume that if you're watching this, you're not originally from Thailand, because then you would already know how to calculate it. So let's just use this as a basis for discussion, as I would not recommend going even to Thailand, which has comparatively low living expenses below this kind of salary level. And of course, exchange rates will vary. So how do we calculate what you actually take home? Step number 1 is to calculate the Social Security. You pay 5%, but max out at 750 baht per month, which is 9,000 baht per year. Your employer pays the same, also maximum 9,000 baht per year. Step number 2 is to figure out your annual gross salary. And while some firms pay more than 12 months guaranteed salary, let's just use 12 months as a basis for ease of calculation. So you have your 60k baht times 12 months equals 720,000 baht total annual gross salary. Step number 3 is deduct allowances, of which there are 3 you can get. So you get 60,000 baht personal allowance, and you get up to 100,000 baht in work-related expenses, 50% of salary but kept. In Thailand, when calculating personal income tax, individuals earning income from employment, such as salary, wages, bonuses, and allowances, are entitled to a standard expense deduction of 50% of their assessable income, however kept at 100,000 Thai baht. This standard deduction is automatically applied and does not require the taxpayer, that is you, to provide any proof or documentation of actual expenses. It's designed to simplify the tax filing process by eliminating the need for detailed record keeping of employee-related expenses. So what does it mean for you? It basically means you can see it almost as a benefit or a gift from the government, so you don't have to take any additional actions. And the last part is the 9,000 baht contribution to the 𝗁𝗔𝗍𝗔𝗔. So that means that your net taxable income is 720K total gross minus 60K personal deduction minus 100K work-related deductions minus 9K 𝗁𝗔𝗍𝗔𝗔, and that leaves you with 551,000 baht taxable income. So step number 4 is to calculate the actual income tax. The tax system here is progressive. That means out of the total taxable income, you will be taxed according to brackets. And with the taxable income of 551 Thai baht, as we just said, you will be in 4 different brackets. The first bracket has 0% tax, the second has 5% tax, the third one has 10% tax, and the last one for you has 15%. And then all of these tax numbers will be added together to just explain it in a very simple way. So specifically, it will look like this. In the first tax bracket between 0 to 150K, you don't pay any tax. Between 150,001 Thai baht to 300,000 Thai baht, you pay 5%, is 7,500. Between 300,001 Thai baht to 500,000 Thai baht, you pay 10%, in your case 20,000. And the remaining 51,000 Thai baht will be taxed at 15%, which then equals 7,650. So that means the total tax you pay is 35,150 Thai baht. Are you still with me? Good. So now step number 5 is the final net salary. So now you have all of the components needed to calculate. So you have your gross salary, you have the 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃 and the tax. So that means in numbers 720,000 annual gross salary minus 9,000 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃 minus 35,150 tax leaves you with 675,850 per year, which is 56,320 Thai baht per month. And in case you're wondering, your employer, so the company, pays a total of 720,000, that's the gross, plus 9,000, that's the 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃, a total of 729,000 Thai baht in order to employ you. So that's the employer cost. So this was the example for the lower salary range. And let's do one for a higher salary range. Let's say your monthly gross salary is 500,000 baht, 500,000 baht. So this is absolutely a higher salary level in Thailand, but by no means unreasonable for a general manager, a senior manager, or an executive of a larger organization here. So for your information, 500,000 Thai baht are somewhere around 15,000 US dollar or 13,500 euro approximately. For this salary, you 100% live a very, very good life in Thailand, as costs here are quite affordable. So again, with that level of salary, how do we calculate what you actually take home? Again, step number 1 is to calculate the 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃. You pay 5%, but max out at 750 baht per month, which is 9,000 baht per year. Same for your employee, pays the same, 9,000 baht per year. This is the same as the first example with the lower salary. Step number 2 is to figure out your annual gross salary. So if you earn 500,000 Thai baht, 500,000 per month times 12 months, you have an annual salary gross of 6 million Thai baht. In step number 3, we deduct again the standard allowances. And again, you have 60,000 Thai baht personal allowance, up to 100,000 Thai baht in work-related expenses, 50% of the salary, but capped, as I said in the other example. As mentioned earlier, these are the 2 standard deductions which are automatically applied and does not require you to do anything or take any action or provide any proof or documentation. And then we have the 9,000 baht which go into the 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃 contribution. This means that your net taxable income is 6 million Thai baht annual salary minus 60K personal allowance minus 100K work-related expenses minus 9K 𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗵𝗃, and that leaves you with 5,831,000 Thai baht net taxable income. So this number is what the tax rate will be applied upon. So far, this is exactly the same as the first example. But now, step number 4, calculate your income tax. Because your salary here is higher, you will touch more of the tax brackets we mentioned earlier. In the first first example, we touched 4 tax brackets. In this example, you're actually touching all of them. So the tax bracket range, again, between 0 and 150K, you don't pay any tax. Between 150,001 Thai baht and 300,000 Thai baht, you pay 5%, which for you is 7,500. Between 300,001 and 500,000 Thai baht, you pay 10% tax, which is 20,000. And between 500,001 Thai baht and 750,000, you pay 15%, it's 37,500 Thai baht. And between 750,001 Thai baht and 1 million Thai baht, you pay 20% tax, which is 50,000. Between 1 million and 1 Thai baht to 2 million, you pay 25%, it's 250,000 Thai baht. Between 2 million and 1 Thai baht to 5 million, you pay 30%, it's 900K. And over 5 million Thai baht, which you're over 5 million with 831,000, you pay 35% on that, which is 290,850. Okay, there was a lot of numbers. It means that the total tax you have to pay is 1,555,850 Thai baht per year. So, step number 5, let's calculate the final net salary. So we have the gross salary minus the social security for and minus the tax. So again, we have 6 million total gross income per year minus 9,000 social security minus 1,555,850. This is your tax, leaves you with 4,435,150 Thai baht per year. So that means 369,595 Thai baht per month is your net salary. So as a reference for you, if earlier on you calculated in euro, that means that from the original amount, roughly 13,500 euro, you will take home around 9,900 euro. If you calculate it in US dollars, so from the original around 15,000 US dollar, you will take home approximately 11,300 US dollar. Also here, your employer pays a total of 9,000 Thai baht into the Social Security for. This is how they get to their total employer cost. Okay, so today that was very messy. Thanks for watching and sticking with me until now. I really hope it can help you as an individual or as an employer to get a sense of what you would be paying in taxes, social security, or other deductions based on a comparatively lower or comparatively higher salary. So in summary, there are a few takeaways to remember. Social security is mandatory for everyone, but it's capped at 750 baht per month. The first 60K baht are tax-free. Employment expense deduction helps, but maxes out at 100,000 Thai baht. Taxes start very low, but climb really fast once you pass 300,000 Thai baht in income. So whether you're earning 60,000 per month or 500,000 Thai baht per month, understanding these numbers hopefully can help you to plan smarter, whether you're saving or negotiating your next salary. I hope you found this little salary information useful. If you want, you can also calculate your own salary breakdown in Thailand by checking out our homepage. Here we have our Thailand salary calculator, which is free of charge. You can find it at www.salary.directhrthailand.com. I'm also linking this for you in the comments. It's free to use and you can compare gross to net to employer cost and understand the tax impact instantly. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share these videos with your friends or your family members who live in Thailand or want to go work in Thailand. And please reach out to me if your company is looking to expand into the Thai market or if you're looking to recruit senior personnel here in beautiful Thailand. My email address is in the below descriptions as well, and that's the best way to reach me. Thanks, guys!